I'm Lisa Kastner. I am the founder and executive editor of Running Wild and Rise Presses. And we are here with you every Thursday, or at least most Thursdays, at 5 p.m. Pacific time to answer any kind of questions you have. I am lucky enough that on occasion I will be joined by some of my fellow editors. We have an amazing group of editors that works with us on a regular basis, and we like to answer your questions. So it looks like this week I might be on my own, which is all good. I'm actually joining you guys from San Diego's Comic Fest. So we have a table here this year, and we're gonna have a bunch of our books represented. We've got a lot of fun little giveaways, like some temporary stickers and all that kind of happy stuff. So if you are in the San Diego area and you're planning on coming to Comic Fest, I really look forward to seeing you here. In the meantime, if you're watching this, and either you're watching it live or you are watching this after the fact, feel free to go ahead, put any of your questions in the comments section. I am more than happy to answer and any whatever questions you may have. It can be about anything. It could be about our publishing process, editing, what made me lose my mind and do something like this. You name it, I'm happy to answer it. In the meantime, we thought I'd give you guys an update as well. We actually just finished going through all the submissions that were before February of 2022, and we put out offers to actually a pretty sizable number of works for publication in 2023 or 2024. If you are one of those individuals who received an offer from us, congratulations. We really look forward to working with you. If you have questions, just go ahead and about the offer, go ahead and just reply to that offer. If it's easier to just chat in more real time, I'll send you a link where you can go ahead and schedule some time with me on my calendar, and we can catch up through Zoom. So yeah, and like I said, I'm more than happy to do it. Sometimes it's just a lot easier to answer questions in real time versus through email. Sometimes I know what I mean when I'm responding to something, but it doesn't make any dang sense to anyone else reading it, and vice versa. It's all good. Let's just happy to again sit down and chat and catch up with each other. Some of the more common questions that we get are usually around the offer itself. I want to make a suggestion, and this is probably going to be really weird to a lot of people. Like, what the heck? You just made them an offer. Why are you going to give them this kind of advice? I'll explain all this in a minute. So, a lot of times we'll have people who reply and say, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I really, though, I want to get like a sizable amount up front, more up front, or I want, a lot more free copies, or whatever the case may be. If the offer that we give you is something that you're not really interested in, that's totally fine. What I want to make a suggestion is use this as an opportunity so that you can go to another publisher that you would like to work with. Let them know that you got an offer, that you really are interested in publishing with them, and then see what they respond with. Sometimes publishers just haven't gotten back to you because they just haven't gotten around to it. Many of us are multitasking. We've got tons of stuff on our plates. So it's only beneficial to you to go ahead and let them know that you've got an offer. Now, part of the reason I'm saying that is, one, again, if there's another publisher that you're really interested in working with, letting them know that, hey, you're really interested in working with them, but you've got an offer on the table. That's one. Two, it also helps you get a better feel for what are kind of common offers now, or what kind of offer you might get from another publisher. There are a ton of different reasons or considerations that go into offers that publishers make. It's everything from what they think the return will be or might be on the work itself. It, especially for small publishers, a lot of times it has to do with how much money they think they can actually afford to give you up front. It's not intended to be like a slam on you if they don't give you, like, $10,000, like the kind of stuff that you hear when if you follow like Publishers Weekly. Um, it's they're offering you what they can, um, what is feasible for that publisher. So, um, like I said, I really think it's a big advantage to you to go ahead and take the offers that you get from publishers. And if it's something that either you're not sure of, or that you are it's not what you had expected, then definitely go out to other publishers. And if you don't have an agent, honestly, this is a great opportunity for you to get an agent, to go ahead, take the offer, go forward to agents that you are interested in potentially working with. Let them know that you already have an offer on the table and you would love, love, love for them to represent you and review the offer. So, there are just so many different ways that you can actually leverage offers that are you've been provided, whether it be from an agent or from a publisher. That I really would love for you guys to use these moments to your biggest advantage, right? Um, Again, like I said, if we're making an offer, it's because we enjoyed your piece and we would love to work with you. That said, we also understand that this is an industry and that we are all here to put forward great pieces of work. So, if you don't feel as though the offer that we've made is something that you it's the optimal offer, then that's totally fine. You're welcome to reject it. You're welcome to go, like I said, use it as an opportunity to get an agent, or use it as an opportunity to go forward to another publisher that you may be more interested in working with, and leveraging that to your advantage. Like I said, just my 10 cents of some great ways that you can use offers that are made to you. Um, it's also a lot of times too, we all hear about these amazing offers that are made where someone's, like $10 million, or which, whatever, that's an exaggeration, obviously. Or like, $50 million, or $5,000, or $20,000, or whatever the case may be. A lot of that too, it's based historically on how similar works have done in the marketplace, and the expectation is that that piece would do similarly to those previously published works. That's oftentimes why you usually will not hear about like a short story collection getting a huge upfront offer, because classically speaking, short story collections don't really sell very, very well. So, again, most publishers aren't going to make a really big offer on a short story collection. Again, unless you're like, the author is Stephen King or something like that. Okay, so now that I've rambled entirely too much, hey, Cree, bonjour. Lovely to see you here again. So for you guys, I'm here. This is your opportunity to go ahead, ask me whatever you want. I'm more than happy to chat. So Dawn says, Dawn McIntyre, hey Lisa, what's your opinion about the value of video trailers for books? Are they useful? strictly for movies? Wow, that's a great question. Um, I think it depends on the one. It depends on the venue. Two, it depends on the um, the genre. So I think a lot of times what we'll see video trailers work that work well in like a Twitter environment or Instagram. Um, and usually it is typically for more of a genre work like a romance or women's fiction or a thriller. Uh, I think they also tend to be more effective if you're looking at a work that's gotten a lot of really great reviews, because those reviews kind of elevate that video trailer compared to if it hasn't gotten a lot of great reviews. I think, yeah, so I think it can be useful. Again, like I said, I think it really depends on how that video trailer is being used, and what form it's being used. I think you do have to use it as an ad versus simply a trailer that's being posted on like your personal Facebook page or your personal Twitter. I think it's also advantageous if, and this is with any kind of advertising, by the way, um, if you either have friends who have a really great following, or you have access to individuals who have a great following, and see if they would be willing to share that trailer or advertising or anything like that. Um, yeah, again, I think it can be, it's how it's used for what genres, and you've got to really leverage it, right? Like it can't just be that you got the trailer and, like I said, like you just go ahead and post it on your personal pages. But if you can find ways to see if like your local library will post it, if your local bookstores, your independent booksellers will post it. Um, really look for ways that it can be leveraged across multiple forums, uh, and I think that would be to your greatest advantage. So I hope that that's helpful, um, and I hope that you find it useful. And honestly, I'd love to hear about Dawn. I'd love to hear about your experience with using the trailers, and where you found it effective, and so on. So hopefully that's helpful. Cree kindly made a very nice comment, so thank you, Cree. That's very generous of you. For those of you who are watching either live or on recording, this is our weekly Run Wild Thus Ask Us Anything. I am sharing this with you this week, live from my hotel room at the San Diego Comic Fest. If you are in the area, I really recommend that you come on out. You should see all of the amazing displays that are already up and running. There are some really cool things here. If you're a Star Trek fan, if you're a Star Wars fan, there's actually some really cool photo opportunity setups that have been put out here. Some gorgeous artwork as well has been put up by some stuff from Lucasfilms, which to me is like, wow, that's pretty cool. Um, and we will be here. I believe San Diego Comic Fest is going to run Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I will be here the whole time. You'll be able to find me in the dealer's room. So there's this amazing area that's been set up for all different kinds of vendors, anything from uh, comic book artists to obviously publishers, all kinds of stuff. So definitely worth your time. And also, like as I mentioned, like we've got a ton of giveaways. So if you're here, you can get some kind of fun stuff from our table, including the likes of brownies and Madeleines and so on. Get a little bit of a sugar rush going on. So yeah. So again, please feel free if you have any kind of questions. answer any questions that you may have, whether it be in real time today on Thursday, April 21st, or afterwards, because I always go back and I check the comments to see if anybody has anything new that they've brought forward. For those of you who've just recently signed with us, welcome to the family. It's awesome to have you with us. Right now I am in the middle of answering a bevy of questions by that's coming in from the authors who we've made offers to. And my next step after all the contracts are signed with the authors, I then actually go through all of our editors and identify those who I think might be the best fit for the different titles. And I send the summary and like the descriptions and so on to those editors to see if they would be interested in working on the piece. Now, if you're an author and with us, you are more than welcome actually to go through runningwildpress.com, go through our team list. If there's any specific editors that you would love to work with, just let me know. I am more than happy to focus on those editors. That said, if you do request a specific editor and they're not available, please don't be offended. Honestly, all of us have at least 2, if not 3 or 4 jobs. And so sometimes it's a matter of timing, right? It just depends on if the editor is available. I know I have a couple of just phenomenal editors that get requested on a regular basis, and they're already in the middle of juggling 2, 3, 4 titles as well as, other works. So I just, again, thank you for your patience and your time related to that. We're actually also looking at, we have an amazing advisory board who we meet with once a quarter, and it actually came forward of an idea for us to do like an anthology that is on a Kickstarter campaign or something similar to that. So if you guys have any ideas on anthologies that you would love to see us bring forward, hey, let me know, right? Again, put those ideas in the comments section, because what we are going to be doing is looking at opportunities to create or to produce anthologies leveraging Kickstarter as a way to fund it. So if you've got, like I said, got any cool ideas, let me know. It could be a lot of fun to work on that Kickstarter campaign and bring in and bring to life your idea for an anthology. Awesome. So I'm trying to think if I have anything big to give you guys updates on. Let's see. So we've got our 2023 titles are full. Our 2024 titles we're actually still going to be bringing forward, and we're changing our model so that what we're doing now is we are actively going through all of the back catalog, or not back catalog, backlist of submissions, and every quarter, and then picking those that we're going to make offers to. So I know a lot of people have felt frustration in the past because if it was a title that we were interested in, but maybe we didn't necessarily have the time, like we didn't have the availability within our list to publish a work, we just wouldn't make an offer. And I know for a lot of people that was really, really frustrating. So now you may get an offer. That said, please don't be upset if the offer is for like 2024 or 2025, because we do have limits in terms of the number of titles that we can publish within a year, and we don't want to overwhelm our editors as well as our production team and our so on. That's why you'll it, the offer may be for like 2024 or 2025. Don McIntyre asks, so what are the day jobs held by some of your editors? Full disclosure, I am an estimator for a manufacturer of plastic toilet compartments. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I love your job. Let's see. What are some of the jobs held by some of our editors? Some of our editors, their day jobs are actually as editors, typically for magazines or for corporations. So they may work in like corporate communications or in marketing or in publicity. A lot of folks work in technology. It's quite a lucrative career. So a lot of some of our editors actually are agents, believe it or not. So their day job is to work for an agency, and then on the side, they actually are editors for us. Which I know that sounds kind of like, really? They're agents but they're editors as well. Yep. We've got 2 or 3 actually who are in that situation. We have a few who are independent editors. So what I mean by that is they may get hired by an author to do like a broad review of their title or their draft piece. We have some who are, I think, life coaches, believe it or not. And they also, again, edit for us on the side. Hold on one sec. Let me see. I'm actually going to pull this up. We actually have a couple of lovely women who are stay-at-home moms, and they do this on the side. Oh, we have one person, she actually writes greeting cards. That's her day job, which is pretty cool. Oh, we've got a couple of instructors. So one of our acquisition editors actually is an instructor for his local university. Another one of our editors is a sales gentleman for one of his other passions, which is motorcycles. Let's see. And actually, a couple of our editors work with multiple publishers. So, like, they work with us and they work with 1 or 2 others as well. And yeah, I think that's the. Oh, a few of them also are authors as well that we've actually published, or they've published with other areas too. So it really, really, really runs the gamut in terms of our editors. I guess you could say day jobs. Oh, and one used to be a doctor. She's a recently retired doctor. So Ben White says, and at least one lowly college professor who can't keep track of the link to sign in and answer any questions. You know what, dude? I can't keep track of it either. Give me 1 sec, and I'll hook you up. Let me send this to you. Because I'm sure you've got much more interesting things to say than what I've got. Okay. Okay, Ben, do me a favor and check your email. I'm sending you the link. I'm sending you the link now. I'm replying to your email. I just sent it. So, cool. So anyway, that's the big stuff. You know what, guys? This has nothing to do with nothing. I bought this case of water earlier today, and I've one before the end of this weekend. So I clearly drink entirely too much water. Cool. So, all right. I think this is Ben. Hey Ben.
I made it.
Woo!
It's tough being me, but you're doing fine.
I'm doing fine. Oh well, thank you.
You were doing fine.
So what can you think
It's,
of? Like
I don't know where the
what do
links
we
go.
have to say? What do we have to update? Can you think
Oh, we
anything?
do need more stories for the anthology number 7, the
Mm,
short stories. So,
yes,
anyone listening, you got
guys,
that story
anyone
laying around,
watching?
send it to me.
Yeah, definitely. Anybody watching, if you have written a short story, please feel free to go ahead and send us that baby. Ben is in the middle of compiling our short story anthology that will be published next year, and we would love to check out your work. So please go ahead, go on submittable.com. Let me see the exact address. I'll tell you in a sec. You want to go to runningwildpress.submittable.com, and you'll see that there's a form specifically for short stories. And just go ahead and check that baby out. Like I said, we'd love to see it. If you have a novella, just so you guys know, I'm in the middle of editing the novella anthologies. We have 2, one for Rise and one for Running Wild. So I'm probably not gonna get to that for a little bit.
Anthology number 7.
So we're on to 7. Yeah, we're on number 7. Don McIntyre asks, what subject matter do you prefer as far as short stories?
It is wide open.
Yeah.
I may be really delayed, but it's wide open.
Yeah, we usually just try to be like smart in how we structure the anthologies so that it's kind of got like a logical one after the other kind of thing. But yeah, we don't have a bias associated with the type of story. So send whatever you want. Awesome. What else can you think of, Ben?
Well, so am I delayed? Am I delayed really bad?
Yeah, you are delayed.
I'm a half hour behind everybody else.
Well, it's just you and me, man. So
I'll catch up. I can't catch up with you, but no, it's good information that you've passed already that I was listening in on, and it's we're really interested in being that go-to source of answers for questions, whether you publish with us or not. We'd love to hear what's going on in your world, so we know what's going on in catch up.
yeah, definitely. I mean, look, we didn't start Running Wild or Rise thinking like, hey, we're gonna be your first pick.
Whether you
Like,
publish with us or not, we'd love to hear what's going on in your world.
look, we didn't start Running Wild or Rise thinking like, wow, hey, we're gonna wicked delay your first pick on both ends. Interesting.
I'm hearing you fine.
Now I hear you.
Did you just hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. It's I think I figured it out.
Oh, okay, cool.
I create my own issues as I go.
That's awesome.
but yeah, the subject matter, we'll touch on that and go from there. It's really wide open. Of course, the interesting characters, they get me all the time, and the ones that you care about what happens to them at the end of the story. What have they done? Did they fall off the tower, or did they champion on through? So good characters, good writing, good stories. That's what we're looking for. That's the subject matter we're looking for.
Yeah, totally.
But
And
no,
that's true for novellas and for short stories. It's really wide open, right? It's just got to be a great story. That's all.
and like Lisa said, if you have any ideas for a theme for an anthology, we would be open to doing that next time around, or by itself as a standalone. There's a red flag anthology coming out soon that is just about red flags between relationships that people have had, and so the red flag anthology is coming out soon. So look for
And the Red Flag
those special.
anthology, yeah, that came up because we had a storytellers happy hour, and the topic of like red flag situations came up, and we were like, hey, wait a minute, that would make a great anthology. So seriously, right, just let us know if you've got like a fun idea for an anthology, and we're definitely open to making it happen. So awesome.
I was thinking I was thinking about one the other day, maybe a Penny Dreadful anthology to go into some horror type stories, but it's just we're wide open. we like ideas.
That's true. We do like ideas. So, and actually, if you go through and you look at our catalog for both Rise and for Running Wild, I mean, the books that we publish run the gamut, right? I mean, all different kinds of stories, all like some are like a blend of like poetry meets short stories meets nonfiction. You know, some are more classic like thrillers. Some are more like, you know, women's romance meets, I don't know, Shakespeare. I have no idea, right? I just made that up. But you just gotta, you know, if it's something that's interesting, then, you know, we'll definitely check it out. Especially if it's something that we think we can help the author make it its best possible story. So. All right. Well, again, feel free, guys. Ask us any questions you want. I'm trying to think if we've got any other like big updates that are people might care about. I don't think so. I think
got a couple of releases in May that been scheduled out for May.
Oh,
Escape
that's
Route.
a good point. Yes, we do actually. So we have a couple of releases in May. We have Dance Among the Flames, which just got a Star Publishers Weekly review. Check that one out. It's by Tori Eldridge. Tori actually is a best-selling author of mysteries. This is her first more like dark fiction thriller type novel that's being put out there. So check that out. The Durbar's Apprentice. So that one is coming out as well in May. That's under Rise. That one is actually, I'm really excited about both of them. They should be a lot of fun. Let me see what else.
I think is Heather Finch close.
Heather Finch is close. The Re-Remembered by Dwight Wilson, that comes out May 4th. That one's going to be pretty amazing. Escape Route by Ilan Barnehama. That one is also coming out on May 4th. And let's see. Giving the Devil His Due. We actually published a special edition of this anthology last year, and this is like the regular edition that comes out in May. We've got a lot coming out in May. Boy, am I glad you said this. Antlers of Bone by Taylor Soden. That one's coming out in May. And June Finch comes out June 4th, or no, June 7th.
Heather Finch, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Heather Finch, yeah. And let me see if there's any others. May is like a very popular month for works to be published. Let me see. That one's June. And that one's June. Yep, that's it. That's that's a lot. But those are all the titles that are coming out. So
you might guess from the titles, but they're wide ranging. Like Lisa said, they're wide ranging works, from period pieces to ghost stories to almost ghost stories when you wish it was a ghost story, but it's really real. And then and that's the stories that we get and like and fall in love with and work with. But it ranges from memoirs to, we've got a military one coming out here pretty soon that we're working on now. It'll be probably late or early 2023. The memoirs get a lot of memoirs, and some of them work. We've got ideas to make others of them work. We're willing to offer ideas and see if the author would work with us. And sometimes we may not be the best, but we try to add ideas that make the book the best. And that's probably the most important thing from anybody's perspective. I've edited a few where the author said, no, I've had editors go through it and it's perfect. And then we make it better. But that's just the nature of editing. Yeah. That's, and the relationship with the authors, I think is probably something that I'm most proud of and most interested in doing the acquisitions editor and the editing that I do. We edit with the author, not to them or for them. We don't do it to them.
And
it is a partnership.
Point, we've had titles where like some of us read it and thought, this is really good, but I'm not sure where to take it, right? And then we pull in one of our other editors who looks at it and says, you know what? I think I know exactly where to take this. And then we'll sit down with the author and ask them, is this the kind of revision that you would be interested in? And, and then that kind of helps us informs us, are we the right publisher for the work? Because, one thing that we're really diligent about when we're selecting our editors is we make sure that we select editors whose focus is not on making the piece theirs, meaning like reflect their voice, reflect their writing style, but rather their editorial style, their editing style is one that's really focused on making the work the best that it is for that author. And I know that might sound, kind of like, well, isn't that what it's supposed to be? But the longer that you're in the publishing world and the writing world, the longer you realize that it really is, it's almost like a personal preference thing, in term, not just in terms of the style for how to edit, but also in terms of what the editor's intention is when they're going forward and editing the work. So that is something, actually, if you're an aspiring author, that you need to be aware of. That is very, very common. If you are going forward and you're hiring an editor to do a revision of your work, I really strongly suggest getting recommendations from previous authors that they've worked with. B, finding out from them, like, what is their editorial style, right? Like, what kind of feedback do they provide? In what form do they provide that feedback, right? And what is their overall style or approach to editing? Because that is going to make a huge difference in terms of their effectiveness on working with you and your work. And I'd hate to see you. I've heard of far too many instances when someone has hired an editor and then they get the feedback and they're like, what is this mess? This makes no sense. This has nothing to do with my work. And, you just blew God knows how much money, right, on having something revised or with recommendations that it turns out isn't actually appropriate for your work, right? Because really all the person's doing is editing so that this becomes something that they would publish, not necessarily that it's the best version of your work. So. Cool. Well, it's it's almost quarter at the quarter hour. If you are watching this live, feel free, go ahead, pop in the comments section for Ben and I, any kind of questions that you have. Again, we're more than happy. I lately have been getting a lot of questions around marketing and publicity. So if you've got any questions about that, again, feel free. If you are watching this and it is after our live streaming, hey, not a big deal. Go ahead, still pop your comments into the comments section or your questions in the comments section, because I'll bring it up in the subsequent Run Wild with Us.
And ask us anything. That's what it is.
That's true. And we've gotten some really crazy questions in the past, which we have answered. So definitely bring it forward.
And we love to answer.
And we love it. That's true. We do. We do love to answer. Let me see. If you are an author with us, you can go ahead and ask us questions too. Like I said, lately I have been getting a lot of questions around marketing and publicity. That's going to be another one that I'm going to suggest to you. If you have offers on the table from multiple publishers, then you may want to ask them what their approach is and what kind of backing they give the authors in terms of marketing and publicity, because every publisher is quite different. Leonard Pig says, what genre is most popular at your label? It's crazy. One of our biggest sellers of all time is a memoir, which is highly unusual. If you ask our agency, so we partner with the Alliance Agency, which is a subsidiary of the Seymour Agency. And typically memoirs are not huge sellers. But for some reason, this one memoir, Mickey the Giveaway Boy, that baby consistently sells every single year. And I don't know if it's because of the topic, which is around, it's about a gentleman's experience during the Depression. It was actually somewhat common in the United States for parents to literally sell their kids into to for hire, so for work, right? And then either the parents would basically buy their child back, or the child would stay with whoever it is that basically purchased them. Hence the name Mickey the Giveaway Boy. Another big seller is more like anything that has like a thriller, horror flavor to it. Like it doesn't have to be 100% thriller, 100% horror, or dark fiction. It just has that like some kind of a tinge to that. They tend to sell pretty well. What else? What can you think of, Ben? I mean, literary sells consistently, I guess you could say. Like stuff with a literary flavor.
So like Legendary was a nice period piece that went back to the 50s in England, and it was told through the eyes of a couple who had been sent out of London to be protected, and so they're going back, and now things are happening to them that make them remember that time period in their lives. That was fiction. That wasn't a memoir. That was fiction. The Faith Machine. The Faith Machine is a great story it's got a supernatural element to it, with a group of supernatural people with superpowers or skills that they have, and they're pulled together to apply them when they need to. And so just the dynamics of that group, it's got good characters. Again, I'll probably go for the characters that you want to see what happens to them. You want good things to happen to them, or it matters when it's not a good thing that happens to them. But so some supernatural things. Even Heather Finch is kind of a supernatural realist kind of thing, because you don't really know if it's a ghost going on, if it's a ghost story, or if it's just the writer's, because the writer is the character, and if it's just her imagination that's working on her situation and how she got to the situation. So it's a wide range. Just sum it up and say it's a wide range, Leonard.
The Many Deaths of Cole Parker by Taylor Grant. I love that collection. I can't say that enough how much I love that collection. Dwight Wilson, his short story collections. So we've published, I think, 3 or 4, and it's all written. All the short stories are around the same family. They're all historic fiction, and I absolutely love those as well. Definitely a wide range, Leonard. And the popularity, a lot of it I think it comes down to, the timing of the piece of it being published. It's also has a lot to do with how tapped in the author is. I mean, I hate to say that, but it's true in terms of that reading community. So like those who would be interested in the forum. But also we found that the authors who were willing to do things like, Zoom book tours, right? So doing live streaming events for their local booksellers, going to conferences like AWP or ALA or Comic Fest, right? We're speaking on panels. If there's a theme within the story that can be leveraged in a different forum, so like more specifically looking at Suzanne Samples, her memoirs that are about her experiences in fighting brain cancer. So one was named like among the best of 2019 by Kirkus Reviews. The second one was also got a starred review. So in the case of her memoirs, they've done well because those within the cancer, those fighting cancer, find it as a respite, right? Because she's able to talk about her experiences with fighting cancer in a very honest, genuine way, that also has a nice humor to it. So that even though, I mean, brain cancer is no joke, right? So even though it's something that's a very serious topic, those who are in similar situations, as well as their families, find them absolutely invaluable as a way to either like tap in and get a more empathy around their siblings or friends' experiences in fighting brain cancer, or any kind of cancer, in all honesty. Or those who are fighting cancer find it as a great way to, again, as a respite, as an escape. So, as a release as well. So yeah, we go all over the place. All right, it is 5:52, and you are watching Ben and Lisa in another Run Wild with Us. Ask Us Anything. If you are watching this live, please feel free to go ahead and pop your questions in the comment section, or if you have any kind of comments that you'd like to bring forward, all good, bring them forward. And if you are watching this and it is not Thursday, April 21st, between 5 and 6 p.m. Pacific time, no big deal. Still, go ahead, put your questions in the comments section. And we, like I said, we always go back and we check for any additional comments that are being brought forward so that we can answer them in future sessions. So,
and we're here on Thursdays.
I'm sorry, on Thursdays. What did I say?
Yeah.
I probably said something.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm advertising for next week. We're here on Thursdays.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Next week, we will be here again on Thursday. Come and check us out, because, and take the time. Think about the kind of questions that you may have. We will do our absolute darndest to answer them. And if we don't have a really good answer, then we'll go out and do some research and, ask among those who are also in the industry to, or not, but those who could actually answer the question in a thoughtful way. So
we sometimes get questions about cover art, and we have cover artists that will take the author's ideas and offer suggestions about the cover. So it's sometimes those questions come up. So, well, who's going to do my cover? So we're going to take your ideas and then work with you again, to work with you and make sure the cover is something you like and captures the essence of the story of the novel.
Yep. So to Ben's point, we have a cover artist that we always work with because he really kind of epitomizes our brand or brands. And what we do is we ask the author, do you have any inspirational artwork or images or descriptions that you'd like to use as a baseline for the cover design? We then bring that forward to our cover artist, and he will come back usually with 2 or 3 different versions of cover designs. We bring that back to you to get your thoughts on which one you prefer, and then we take it from there. So it's a very collaborative process. That said, we don't, like if your cousin did a drawing, we're probably not going to use it. If, you yourself do drawings, that's fabulous. Congratulations. We're probably not going to use it. We'll use it as a inspirational artwork, but we're probably not going to actually use it as the cover itself. Again, because, we do have a very specific look and feel of across all of our titles. So One thing that we do, and I've gotten a question around this a lot lately, in terms of like marketing and publicity, we have a questionnaire that we use to kind of help you think through all the different ways or potential ways that you could publicize and market your work. And we also provide a template, a marketing plan template, also, again, so that you can use it as a starting point to do research and homework and really kind of flesh out exactly what your marketing plan is going to be. We do that because in reality, yes, we as well as our distributor both do a lot of promotion, right? And we have specific ways that we promote. But the reality is that readers want to hear from you. They don't care about me, right? They care about you, the author, and what you've done and what you have to say about the work. They want to know what inspired you to make that mess, what inspired you to make that story. They don't care why I picked it, nor should they. So a lot of this is really just sitting down and figuring out, okay, so in what venues, in what places will you get the biggest bang for your buck, right? Where can you go and talk about this phenomenal story or stories and that your future readers are going to be most interested in? And how can you bring it forward to the general public where they're going to say, oh man, I got to pick that up. That is something I have got to check out. So we help you in that, but we don't define it for you, right? But we do partner with you in what might be the best way, the best approach. So. All right, it is 5:57 on Thursday, April 21st. Oh, 5:58. This was another Run Wild with us. Ask us anything. Check us out next week, Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We will love to answer any questions that you may have. So with that, actually, we're going to sign off. Love to you guys. Again, if you are in the San Diego area and you want to come join me at San Diego's Comic Fest, we're going to have a really great time. All right. Thanks, Leonard. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Cree. Awesome to hear you guys. We will see you soon. Ciao.
Bye-bye.